Welcome everyone. Welcome to our WTW webinar focusing on the Alyza IQ, the simple choice for ammonium analyzers. Before we begin, I'd just like to quickly introduce you to the GoToWebinar interface for those who are using this for the first time. On the interface, there is a question section, and we will be taking questions at the end of the webinar. However, throughout the session, you can at any time simply type in the question you'd like asked and answered at the end of the session. All questions will be queued in a lineup, and it's kind of first come, first serve. However, if we run out of time to answer the questions, these will be passed on to our regional staff and to Natalie and answered offline. So your questions will be answered, rest assured. All right, let me introduce to you today our guest speaker, Dr. Natalie Leiprecht. Dr. Natalie Leiprecht is a PhD in biochemistry. She is the process segment manager for WTW and product specialist for Alyza IQ. She's based in Wilhelm, Bavaria in Germany, and has over 7 years experience in process instrumentation with Xylem. So before Natalie joins us, I'd like to start with a poll question and just kind of get a sense of where our audience is at. I will be sharing the poll question on your screen, and I invite you to take a moment to respond to the poll by using your GoToWebinar panel. And we'll just give a couple of seconds here for the audience to have a chance to vote. Do you have experience with WTW equipment? I have no experience. I have only seen others use it. I have experience with online process instrumentation. I have experience with lab instrumentation. So feel free to choose one of those to give us an idea of where you're coming from. So while we're waiting for our audience to answer, Dr. Natalie, would you kindly jump on and join me on stage?
Thank you, Michael, and welcome everybody. It's really great to be here today, and I'm really pleased to talk to you today. So let's see the results of the poll. So as we can see, most of you have already experience with process instrumentation and know the WTW brand. So great to hear, and thus I will just give you a quick introduction on the WTW brand before we start with the Alyza IQ. So WTW is a brand of Xylem Analytics Germany, which is a division of the Xylem Group. Xylem operates worldwide in its core business of water. We provide solutions for every challenges in the water cycle, from transport over treatment and analytics. So the WTW brand is located in Weilheim in Bavaria, as I am, and was founded in 1945 by Dr. Karl Slevogt. The first product was a radio called Tassilo, but very soon we changed to analytical instrumentations. Today, we are experts with more than 70 years of experience in the development and manufacturing of high-quality measurement technology for the water analysis. We provide solutions for lab, field, and process applications. In 1999, we released our first online wet chemical ammonium analyzer, the so-called Trescon Ammonium. I guess some of you are familiar with that instrument. Thus, we have more than 20 years of experience with continuous online monitoring instrumentation. So before we jump into Alyza and the ammonium measurement, I would like to raise the second poll question for today. As the focus is Alyza IQ for ammonium, we would like to know why you're interested in ammonium measurement. So Michael, please raise the second poll for today. So there are different application and interests of ammonia monitoring. So it would be quite interesting to know if you're more from the wastewater side, from the surface water application, aquaculture, or if you have a general interest in that new technology. So let's wait some seconds for the votes. So Michael, how many feedback or how much feedback did we get? So let's just wait for the answers. So great to see. So most of you are interested in wastewater monitoring, some of you in surface water, and some are generally interested in the technology. So we all know that there are regulations and limits for effluent monitoring and for the surface water bodies. But why is the ammonium level so important? So let's have a look into it. So high levels of ammonium threaten the quality of surface water and groundwaters worldwide. But why is ammonium a threat? Ammonium or ammonia is the natural product of decay of organic nitrogen compounds. Elevated levels of ammonium in surface water bodies are a result of discharges from wastewater treatment plants, industrial effluent, and agricultural runoff. Ammonium exerts a demand of oxygen and water as it is transformed to oxidized forms of nitrogen like nitrate. As other nitrogen compounds and phosphorus, it is also an important nutrient for aquatic plants and algae, so it can cause eutrophication of the water bodies and indirectly reduce the dissolved oxygen due to increased BOD. So you can see in the upper picture a typical eutrophicated water body where you have an excess of algae growth. If algae die off and they are degraded by microorganisms, oxygen is depleted and thus you can get fish die off as well. So in addition, it is toxic to aquatic life at a certain concentration in relation to water temperature, salinity, and pH. When the river temperature changes, ionized ammonium changes to unionized ammonia gas, which is fatal to fish and other water organisms in the river. Therefore, it is really important that ammonium levels are continuously monitored and limited amounts of ammonium are present. So let's focus now on the new analyzer Alyza IQ Ammonium. Alyza IQ is a completely new wet chemical analyzer platform and the newest addition to the IQ SensorNet family. It can be integrated into a new or existing IQ SensorNet system, or it can be used as a standalone analyzer so that maximum flexibility is given. IQ SensorNet can be deployed throughout the treatment process, from inlet to the biological tank to clarifiers and effluent stages, as well as it can be used in tertiary treatment stages and micropollutant removal. The main purpose of continuously monitoring your treatment process is to ensure you're meeting your treatment goals while optimizing your process to run as efficiently as possible. This includes monitoring for early warning of changes to the process or to help detect upset conditions, as well as monitoring to ensure you are meeting compliance and monitoring to automatically control your treatment process. So all in all, the ammonium analyzer is perfect for monitoring purposes within the treatment plant. The Alyza IQ platform, as the latest addition to the IQ SensorNet, comprises two new analyzers, one for orthophosphate and one for ammonium measurement. The orthophosphate analyzer for P removal control was launched last year. Today, we will focus on the new Alyza IQ for ammonia measurement. All analyzers include a climate package for the temperature operating range of -20 up to 40 degrees Celsius, so it's perfectly suited to be deployed on-site. The resulting short distances between the filter and the analyzer leads to data without a time delay. The new Alyza IQ Ammonium is available in two different versions. So on the left-hand side, you can see the so-called one-channel version for sampling from one location. For example, one effluent line at the treatment plant or one spot in a river. If you would like to measure at two locations, the two-channel analyzer is the model of choice, as you can see on the right-hand side. So with that, let's review some of the main components of the new analyzer in the direction of the sample flow at the two-channel version. Here you can see the two filtration pumps with individual pressure sensors. The results of these sensors can be used to check if a cleaning of the filter is required or if the sample tubing might be clogged. Here you can see the two overflow vessels, which are made out of transparent material, so you can visually inspect it for any solids buildup. This big part is the wet chemical unit. It is insulated and has a constant inner temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. So performance and reagent lifetime is optimized. The wet chemical unit itself is equipped with a status LED. You can directly see if a process is in progress, the maintenance mode is switched on, the wet chemical unit can be opened, or an error occurred. So maximum transparency for your analyzer. Now let's see what's inside of the wet chemical unit. Inside the wet chemical unit, the core parts of the new Alyzer are located. Here in orange, you can see the location of the MultiPort valve, the heart of the analyzer. This is the location of the so-called ChemBags, which contain the reagents. I'll come to the two core components in a few seconds. And last but not least, this is the wet chemical photometric unit. It is also insulated to help speed up the reaction and increase the measurement accuracy by a constant higher temperature. So now I would like to dig more into the two core components of the new Alyzer. The first one is really the heart of the analyzer, the MultiPort valve. Within this pioneering innovation, the sample transport, degassing, and mixing takes place. Thanks to this component, the solution consumption of Alyzer is extremely low. For example, the Ammonium analyzer in measurement range 1 consumes only 12 microliter per reagent per measurement, and thus less than 2 milliliters per reagent per day at a 10 minutes interval. Designed as the main spare part of the new analyzer, it guarantees always reliable and extremely accurate measurement values without any wear-out effects. Thanks to its long lifetime, it will need to be replaced only once per year. Located in the wet chemical unit, the MultiPort valve is installed in a special holder. Always having ease of use in mind, the holder was designed for easy access and replacement of the MPV, as shown here. Just empty the system, open the holder, replace the old MPV by a new one, close the holder, start the system, and that's it. Another unique feature of Alyza IQ are the ChemBags. Instead of conventional reagent containers or bottles, these bags are used to hold the chemical solutions. With a total volume lower than 200 milliliters, they can be easily stored and transported globally. With the unique connector as shown here, which is specifically designed for the new analyzer, the reagents can be exchanged easily and drip-free. The connector is automatically open and closed so that you never get in contact with chemicals. And you don't have to worry about spilling solution bottles or something like that. Thanks to the low reagent consumption realized by the new MultiPort valve technology, the exchange is only needed once every 90 days for measurement range 1 and every 45 days for measurement range 2 at a 10 minutes interval. With longer intervals, the lifetime is even longer. Another benefit is the long shelf life of the reagents. Thanks to the ChemBags, the risk of contamination and fouling of the reagents is eliminated, as the reagents don't get contact to the air, for example. So in addition, the reagents don't need to be cooled, but can be stored at room temperature between 18 and 28 degrees over 1 year. So now we just reviewed two of the most important new features of the Alyzer, the MultiPort valve on the one hand and the ChemBags on the other hand, and already mentioned some of the benefits. Next, I would really like to give you some more insights into the enhancement and thus benefits of the new analyzer technology. So, as most of you are interested in effluent monitoring and river monitoring, I guess you're all familiar with the biggest pain points of wet chemical analyzers. So the biggest pain points of conventional ones are the reagent consumption, the extremely high maintenance effort, as well as the reliability of the data. So let's talk about how Alyza is solving these challenges for you. The new disruptive MultiPort valve technology, as mentioned before, reduces the reagent consumption of Alyza IQ to a minimum, with less than 2 milliliters per reagents per day at a 10 minutes interval. This extremely reduced reagent consumption also results in a dramatic decrease in chemical-containing liquid waste, with less than 18 milliliters per day. Traditional wet chemical analyzers don't have the option to separate this chemical waste from the overflow, and thus the liquid waste amount is even higher. Fortunately, the Alyza IQ platform offers an optional waste collection system to only collect what is obligatory, resulting in a further operating cost reduction where charge disposal is mandatory. So another benefit is, of course, the reduction of maintenance effort to a minimum. As you've seen so far, we really designed the Alyzers so it has minimal hands-on maintenance requirements with no expensive service contracts required. In total, maintenance takes just 10 minutes every 3 months for measurement range 1 at a 10 minutes interval. So now let's see what has to be done as maintenance with the new Alyza IQ. Part of the regular maintenance of all wet chemical analyzers is the renewal of the chemical solutions. Thanks to the ChemBags, it is as simple as never before with Alyza IQ. Just unscrew the old one and add a new one. As mentioned before, reagents have to be replaced every 90 days for measurement range 1 or 45 days for measurement range 2 at a 10 minutes interval. Cleaning and calibration solutions have only to be exchanged every 6 months at a daily cleaning and calibration. As already mentioned, the main spare part of Alyza IQ is the MultiPort valve, which has to be exchanged only every 12 months. As you've seen before, just open the holder, take out the old one, replace it by a new one, and that's it. Thanks to the MultiPort valve, tubings could be reduced to a minimum. Most of the tubing is only air or solution contacted, and thus a replacement is not expected. The sample contacted tubings last more than 1 year. We really improved the material and added automatic cleaning to the tube from the overflow vessel to the MPV and the photometer sample tube, so we can extend the lifetime of these tubings. So now let's dig into an additional benefit of the new Alyza. As a further enhancement, we have added predictive maintenance and onboard diagnostics. The Alyza IQ monitors the solution volumes and provides a countdown of the days remaining until you run out of solution and you need to replace it. The solution monitoring is individual to the solution type, so you have a counter for each reagent, calibration solution, and cleaning solution. So you really get a complete picture of how many days of operation are left. No risk of running out of chemicals anymore. To guarantee highest performance stability and reliability of the data, additional functions like temperature within the different compartments, as you've seen, for example, 20 degrees for the wet chemical unit, are continuously monitored and displayed in the info screen. For full transparency, we also optimize the status screen within the controller. You can see the latest measurement and the current process stages of the next measurements. So in that case, the last measurement took place at 6:53 p.m. and a concentration of around 17 milligrams per liter ammonium. So the current stage is the measurement cycle where 10 minutes are remaining. So it just started with a measurement and it's currently rinsing the system for preparation of measurement. In addition, as you can see in the next screenshot, the display shows during waiting mode the next process stages and when they will take place. For example, in that case, the next measurement is in 8 minutes for channel 1, in 18 minutes for channel 2, and calibration and cleaning is more than 16 hours away. So besides the easy maintenance and less reagent consumption, of course, accurate data are essential for measurement of effluents and surface water bodies. So as I keep mentioning, Alyza IQ Ammonium really provides highly accurate data. So thanks to automatic cleaning and an automatic two-point calibration, we ensure that the analyzer provides these accurate measurements with minimal human intervention. In addition, the mentioned real-time monitoring of reagent helps you to keep the analyzer in operation, so no longer unwanted caps take place. Furthermore, the Alyza temperature control package, which is aided by 4 different temperature sensors, helps to keep the temperature inside the unit tightly controlled. The result is high accuracy, especially at the low end. So in the graph, you can see measurements of an ELISA with measurement range 1 over several hours in black at a 10 minutes interval. In red, you can see lab comparison measurements, and you can see how accurate the ammonium analyzer measurement is compared to the lab measurement. Both are using the same standard method. So which method for Alyza IQ? We chose the Berthelot method, which is optimized for accurate measurement of low concentration, which is also, as I mentioned, a standard method in lab. So let's dig a little bit into the method. The Berthelot or indophenol method is based on the findings of French chemist Berthelot. Taken together, ammonia reacts with Berthelot's reagent to form a blue product, which is used in a colorimetric method for determining ammonium. This is according to standard method DIN 38406. The method we are using complies with the standard colorimetric measuring principle of the method, but we optimized it to speed up the reaction time while still producing a highly accurate measurement. While the standard lab method needs 20 to 30 minutes for full reaction, our analyzer provides result every 10 minutes as a minimum interval. So now let's review some of the specifications. Ammonium Alyza IQ provides two different measurement ranges in one model. Measurement range 1 is from 0.02 up to 5 milligrams per liter with a resolution of 0.01 milligrams per liter and an accuracy of plus minus 2%. The measurement range 2 is 0.10 up to 20 milligrams per liter with a resolution of 0.05 milligrams per liter and an accuracy of plus minus 3%. With this high accuracy at very low concentrations, Alyza IQ ammonium is perfectly suited for different monitoring tasks. So let's review some of the main applications for Alyza IQ ammonium. So to ensure compliance with local discharge limits and protect waterways, Alyza ammonium is perfectly suited for the measurement of ammonium or ammonia in the wastewater treatment plant effluent. Another important application for Alyza IQ ammonium is the monitoring of surface water bodies like rivers to assess and ensure the quality of the surface waters according to local and national requirements. In addition, ammonia measurement is also important for water treatment plants, which are using river water as a water source. High ammonia levels in the inlet water cause major problems in the disinfection process. Measuring ammonium upstream of the water plant helps to protect the inlet if necessary and can even be closed if required. For a well-working ammonium analyzer, an easy-to-maintain filtration is essential. Thus, we also improved our passive filter for the ELISA units. The filter material itself is more robust, and the material between the two filters is more rigged, making it really easy to periodically clean. Thanks to the installation on a rail, it can be easily removed out of the process for maintenance. In addition, it has a larger surface area, so will require less frequent cleaning. Last but not least, the expected life of the filter is greater than 1 year. From our experience, even 2 to 3 years, without exchanging the filter material. So in addition to the filtration, I would like to give you a quick overview on the mounting options of the new analyzer. To fit to all conditions at the measurement site, we provide mounting accessories for the mounting at a wall, a rail, or even use a mounting stand if none of it is available. Here is an additional mounting option for a terminal controller directly at the analyzer. Thanks to this terminal mount, you always have it displayed right next to the unit. So now that we have discussed Alyza IQ specifications, the main benefits and applications, I would like to give you an overview of the Alyza specifications in comparison to our ISE sensor technology, as we get this question very frequently: what are the difference and when do you use what technology? So let's see what the different focus areas of the two technologies are. So as you have just seen, Alyza IQ ammonium is really optimized for the monitoring of wastewater treatment plant effluent and rivers, thanks to its high accuracy at low ammonium concentrations. In contrast, ISE sensors are the suitable measurement technology for aeration control to optimize treatment plant efficiency. For this application, in contrast to monitoring tasks where intervals between 10 minutes up to 12 hours are appropriate for measurement, a continuous measurement of ammonium is required, which can really be provided by ISE sensors with a T90 time below 3 minutes. ISE sensors are also perfectly suited for other applications where high concentrations of ammonium occur. For example, the measurement of the centrate water from sludge dewatering, where concentrations can be detected over 1,000 milligrams per liter NH4N. So taken together, Alyza IQ Ammonium is the technology of choice for monitoring purposes like effluent and river monitoring. In contrast, our ISE sensors are the suitable measurement technology for aeration control and measurement of higher ammonium concentrations. So with that, Michael, can you please help me with the final poll question for today?
Natalie, thank you so much for your time on that presentation. As you can see, we've got our final poll question up, and we do invite you to answer. Would you like more information about the Alyza IQ or other WTW solutions? So we'll just give you a couple of seconds there to respond before we hop into our Q&A session.
So yeah, thanks, Michael, and thanks a lot for the audience. So I hope I could give you all a very good introduction overview on our new analyzer technology, and I'm really pleased to answer your questions soon.
All right, so let's open up our question session, our Q&A session. Again, for those who are new to GoToWebinar, there is a question box on your screen, and simply type in your question in there, and I'll read them out to Natalie, and Natalie will respond. If we don't have the time to respond to all of your questions, we will get to you offline. So please feel free to ask away. Natalie, the first question we actually have quite a few lined up already. Can we use this device in measuring the ammonia in groundwater?
So in general, of course, depending on pH and everything, it should be possible as well, yes. So you need the filtration for sure, but if you're below 0.02 up to 20 milligrams per liter, that should be suitable. It's a little bit different to seawater, if that question will come up as well. As for seawater, due to the high chloride content, the analyzer is not suitable.
Not suitable for seawater, is that correct?
Exactly, but groundwater, yes. We also have some applications even in drinking water, as I mentioned, at the inlet of drinking water treatment plants, for example, or even in between for the ammonium analyzer.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next question. What is the reagent that's used? It's a two-part question, actually. What is the reagent that's used? And what is the quantity or the amount per day by volume of reagent used?
So it's the measurement method is the Bartholow or indophenol method. That's why I use that reagent. It's a salicylic acid containing reagent and a standard method, I guess, almost globally. So that is used to measure ammonium or ammonia with the Alyza IQ Ammonium. So the reagent consumption, we have 3 different reagents. So the reagent consumption at a 10 minutes interval is less than 2 milliliters or around 2 milliliters per reagent per day, what means it's 6 milliliters in total taken together all reagents. If you only measure once per hour, of course, it's only 1/6, for example. So we have measurement ranges for the ELISA dependent on the monitoring application and the frequency you need to monitor, between 10 minutes as a minimum interval and 12 hours as a maximum interval.
Terrific. Okay, a question concerning the accuracy. It's more of a clarification. I believe you mentioned that it's plus or minus 2%. Is this for the entire measuring range or for the measured value?
It's for the measured value.
The measured value. Okay. Thank you for that.
So that's maybe as a sorry. Just
please go ahead.
please. No, that's why we're stating it's plus minus 2%, plus minus 0.02, whatever is greater for the measurement range 1.
Great. Is there a temperature controller of some kind inside the analyzer?
Yes. So we have we have 4 different temperature compartments and 4 different temperature sensors. And one, as I mentioned, is within the photometric unit, which is around 40 to 45 degrees kept constant temperature. We have the wet chemical unit with 20 degrees and 2 different ones in the housing, so that we can really cover the ambient conditions we're stating for the operation from minus 20 up to 40 degrees. And you have like an info screen where you always can see the temperature measured so that you have full transparency and control.
Thanks, Natalie. The next question is concerning the blue method and the yellow method. One of our audience understood that the yellow method is quite good at low ranges. So why is the Alyza using the blue method?
So the yellow method is normally for, or the known molybdenum-vanadate method is for orthophosphate measurement. And there is also a blue method for orthophosphate measurement. For ammonium, you have different standard methods, or you can use a GSE for measuring ammonia or ammonium, and the indophenol blue method as a standard method. And this is really also in lab a standard method for measuring low concentrations of ammonium.
Great, thank you, Natalie. The next question concerns compatibility with an environment. Our audience was asking or mentioning that they currently reside in a tropical country where the outside temperature averages 30 to 37 degrees Celsius. So will the Alyza, if the Alyza is installed in this kind of environment, would there be any complications?
So thanks to the active heating and cooling, of course, of the Alyza, it's suitable for ambient temperatures of minus 20 up to 40 degrees. Of course, if it can rise over 40 degrees, we recommend installing it in a building, for example. But in general, with our temperature testing, it's really suitable for up to 40 degrees Celsius. And maybe for tropical climate, the air humidity is allowed to be maximum 95%.
Great. Could you please clarify that once more? The maximum temperature range is?
So for the ambient conditions, it's 40 degrees Celsius as a maximum upper temperature limit.
Great, thank you.
For storage, it's maybe a comment for storage before installation, it's even more, it's even up to 50 degrees Celsius, but for operation, it's really 40 plus 40 degrees Celsius.
Thank you. Okay, the next question concerns the reagents. Our audience is asking, do we have to buy them directly from WTW or can we buy them locally?
They can only be bought from WTW. So as these are special reagents in the special gas tight filling, they are only available from us.
Okay, thank you. Which model should be selected for use with seawater?
As I mentioned before, it is not suitable for seawater applications, as there would be an adjustment of reagents needed and the material as well. So the maximum chloride concentration is maximum 500 milligrams per liter or below.
Okay, thank you. Is the Alyza only used with or for ammonia measurement?
So it's for one parameter, yes. So we have this model for ammonium/ammonia. So you have both citation formats available, and we have another model for orthophosphate, but only one parameter. In addition, if you want to add other parameters like pH, conductivity, or others, you could add easily sensors to the IQ SensorNet as an option, as this is an additional part for the IQ SensorNet.
Okay, thank you. Natalie, you certainly have generated a lot of interest in the Alyza. We have quite a list of questions that are coming in. So I do appreciate your support with this. The next question concerns calibration, and our audience would like to know how frequently calibration should be conducted.
So we recommend a daily cleaning and afterwards calibration. So that's the default setting as well. And with that, you can really keep that high accuracy in measurement. And as a side note, so the cleaning and calibration solutions at a daily cleaning and calibration last half a year. So you only have to exchange them every 6 months.
Could you talk a little bit about or expand a little more on the automatic cleaning of the sensor?
So we have cleaning solutions integrated. So 2 cleaning solutions for measurement range 1 and 1 cleaning solution for measurement range 2. So the whole system is cleaned with that cleaning solution to avoid like fouling or something like that. And in addition to the like MultiPort valve and some of the tubings from the overflow vessel to the MultiPort valve and to the photometer unit are also included in this automatic cleaning cycle, which again increases lifetime of the tubings which are there necessary and accurate data.
Terrific, thank you. There does seem to be a general confusion about the orthophosphate analyzer and the ammonia analyzer. Can one analyzer monitor both?
No. So it's only for one parameter. So either you take the ammonium analyzer with the Bartholow method, or you take the orthophosphate analyzer with the yellow method. They are 2 different analyzers.
Thanks for clarifying that, Dr. Natalie. The next question concerns the data. Can the data be mapped directly to a cloud?
So there is an option for IQ SensorNet, as we have the IQ Web Connect, and we have also controllers with Ethernet connections that you on your own can connect Ethernet or a modem, and then if you have your internal cloud or for governmental reasons, you can connect it to that. So we have in general as well other field buses available, Profinet, as I said, Ethernet IP, Modbus TCP IP, or the regular ones if required. So it's really the advantage is really that you can have it as a standalone with a smaller controller or as a part of an already existing or new IQ SensorNet, and you can take advantage of all the functionalities and flexibility of the IQ SensorNet with that analyzer as well.
Is there a limit on the amount of data that can be captured?
So for the internal data storage, yes, but it's a long time. But if you transfer the data, for example, also to a PLC, it's not limited.
Okay, thank you. One of our audience members noticed that there's a picture of the controller being separated from the Alyza. The Alyza had 2 modules in it. How many modules can any one Alyza be fitted with?
So I don't really get the question. Is the question how many analyzers can be connected to an IQ SensorNet, or
How many
maybe?
modules can be connected or set up with a single Alyza?
So you can, if the question is regarding the IQ modules, you can have the controller and several modules if you like. Stacking is possible with 3 modules, so you can have different outputs and inputs as well. But of course, by cable and so on, you have the full flexibility of the IQ SensorNet. So in principle, you could add more. And vice versa, you can have several Alyzas in one IQ SensorNet.
Okay, thank you. There's quite a few questions here, and I'm trying to pick through them. There's actually quite a few questions concerning whether or not the Alyza can be set up outside. We often see Alyzas being set up or installed inside a type of facility, but can it sit outside under the sun?
Absolutely. So that's why we equipped the Alyza with this active climate package with cooling and active heating. So it's really made for being installed outside. So dependent on the regions and the application, we see, for example, the Alyza phosphorus orthophosphate mainly installed, for example, at a basin where you have phosphorus removal. And the ammonium, it depends, either it's outside or in buildings if you have like effluent monitoring stations, for example, which have to be locked. But it's really made for outside applications as well. So the big advantage of that is, of course, you have when you have a sensor, you're putting it in the process like the ISE I mentioned before, you have a continuous monitoring. For the analyzer, you have the filter and the analyzer and the tubing between. And to keep that very short, to don't get delays in measurement, it's absolutely advantageous to install the analyzer at the site of the measurement. That's again why we made it as an outdoor capable analyzer as well.
Great. Just quickly going back to the module question that you addressed earlier. What is the, sorry, how many NH4 modules?
One. So inside one analyzer is, I get the question regarding Trescon, our old analyzer, where you have 3 modules for 3 different parameters in one analyzer. So the Alyza has only one ammonium module, but you can measure up to 2 sample streams. What means you can sample from 2 different locations and measure both in one analyzer, but only one ammonium module inside. Thanks for clarification.
Yeah. Well, and thank you to our audience as well. Another question for you, and I think you've already addressed this, but just for clarification for our audience, is this suitable for river water monitoring to be precise?
Absolutely, that's one of the main applications. So effluent monitoring and on the other hand, river monitoring.
Terrific, thank you. So can one analyzer with 3 channels like pH, can it be set up with 3 channels like pH, conductivity, and ammonium?
If you add the sensors, yes. So if you take, like we have a so-called 284 controller, which is suitable up to 3 sensors/analyzers, you could connect to that controller the Alyza Ammonium, a pH sensor, and a conductivity sensor. And if you would take the big system, the big IQ sensor network, the 2020, you could even connect up to 20 different sensors or analyzers.
Let's move to a different topic here. Let's talk about the alarm. Can you set a maximum reading with an alarm on this unit?
Inside, yes. So we have some like PID controllers in the IQ sensor net, and with the same functionality, you could have an upper or lower limit.
Okay, thank you. What is the maximum possible distance between the sampling point and the analyzer?
So we provide tubings for up to 25 meters. And maybe one comment in addition, the maximum, height of pumping is 5 meters. And for that 5 meters, we have an additional check valve what has to be added so that you avoid that the sample is running back, not pumped.
Okay, thank you. Is there a way to prevent phosphate analyzer sample membranes from being fouled or clogged by algae?
So that filter membrane doesn't have an automatic cleaning, but thanks to the big surface, we have long, maintenance intervals for that filter dependent on the application. So as I said, you can easily put it out and clean it manually, but no automatic cleaning.
Okay, and let's talk briefly about the life of the chemical bag.
So the chemical bag's lifetime for orthophosphate, now that I just take both, so maybe as a background. So that's, I guess, why the question came back. So the hardware in general is very similar. So the whole advantage of Alyza is present for orthophosphate and ammonium. So differences are chemicals and the photometric unit. So the lifetime of the phosphorus reagents is 2 years and the ammonium is 1 year.
Thank you, Dr. Natalie. Is there an IP rating? Is that IP67, perhaps IP68?
So the IP rating is IP56, and for the controller, it's IP67.
IP67, great, thank you. One question's about the MIQ 2020 controller. It's used for ammonium. Could other sensors, for example, the CarboViz, be connected to the MIQ 2020 XT controller?
Yeah, exactly. So you can connect. So in principle, the Alyza is like a new sensor for the IQ sensor net. The only difference is that you don't need the SACIQ cable. The Alyza is already equipped with an 2-meter SNCIQ cable, what you would connect to the IQ sensor net. But in principle, you have all the options as for IQ sensors and the system itself. So you can connect whatever you want to that controller.
Okay, thank you. One of our audience has a lot of complications with oily mud in their wastewater, and they'd like to know how to clean the filter surface of this oily mud.
So there are some cleaning solutions like light acid and so on solutions recommended in the manual, and then just use these solutions. So we provide a container where you, so in that case, we recommend having 2 filters. So you can have one in the container for cleaning with a cleaning solution and the other one in operation. So just remove, the particles by a brush, put it in with a cleaning solution, and then you renew the filter, can use it again.
Terrific. Well, Dr. Natalie, I think we've hammered you with enough questions for today. Let's quickly share our next slide with the audience. And just a reminder to everyone who's attended today, if we didn't reach your question, we will certainly share it with you offline. Either Dr. Natalie will respond to you directly, or one of our regional staff will answer your questions.
So thanks, Michael, and thanks for all the questions you asked. And I'm really happy if you have afterwards additional questions coming up, just send me or the team an email and we will come to you soon. So in addition, if you are interested in Alyza infos or other IQ SensorNet components, or you want to get additional questions done, just write us an email, check our website. You can apply for our newsletter or get the latest videos on YouTube. So the video you saw in the invitation on Alyza IQ orthophosphorus from our colleague is also present there. So in addition, we just released our new process instrumentation catalog, as you can see here, which is an overview of our whole process portfolio, including IQ SensorNet and drinking water products. So just reach out to us if you're interested in a digital copy. In addition, if you're interested in biological oxygen demand measurement, just check out our next webinars about the new Oxytop lines, Oxytop I and Oxytop IDS from Dr. Klaus Reitmeier. With more than 20 years experience in electrochemistry, he will provide you insights into BOD measurement and how our new product lines will help you. So just check out the webinars on June 18th for the Oxytop I and on June 25th for the Oxytop IDS. So with that, I would like to thank you for your attention and for joining us today. and the very valuable questions that you asked, and wish you all a great day.
Thank you everyone for joining. And for those of you who are asking about copy of the presentation and a link to the recording, there is a follow-up email that's coming that will be sent to you automatically approximately 1 hour from now, which will include a link to the recording as well as a certificate that you can download. A presentation, a PDF version of the presentation will also be available on our .asia website, or feel free to contact any of the email addresses that were shown in the deck today. That email address is also displayed in the emails that we've been bombarding you with, inviting you to this presentation. So with that, please be safe, and we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar. Thank you very much and have a
Thank
great
you
day.
all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.